Hello there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on another edition of stories about my knee surgery. It's been a couple of weeks since we visited, and the date of this recording is Wednesday evening, February 5th. Things have been going relatively well the last couple of weeks. I've been attending my PT 2 days a week. There was one day when I was unable to attend due to some scheduling issues that can happen from time to time and wasn't able to reschedule with my therapist. Had 3 sessions out of 4 over the last 2 weeks. Those have been going pretty well. I've been doing my work here at home. I have noticed over the past 7 days or so, last week, that my knee just seemed to be hitting a wall in terms of its flexibility. I couldn't seem to crack through that 95-degree, 100-degree angle on the flexion piece. And been a little worried about that. Spoke to my PT guy about that yesterday at my session, and we kind of talked about some things we needed to do and work on it. Today, I had my 4-week follow-up visit. Not really accurate. Just to quickly review the timeline, 6 weeks ago tomorrow, I had my knee surgery. So I had a 2-week follow-up with my surgeon, and then a 4-week after that follow-up. So when I say I had a 4-week today, it's my second follow-up and 6 weeks after surgery, but 4 weeks after the 2-week follow-up. So anyway, rather than get bogged down in math, I had a follow-up with my surgeon today. He was concerned about the lack of flexion in my knee. We talked about it, talked about how it felt, talked about how it looked. And he said that his recommendation was that we needed to take a little action on it. Otherwise, it was not going to turn out as well as it possibly could. So what he has signed me up for and what we're going to do next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, is a manipulation of the knee. The way I understand that term is that they're going to, we'll go back to the surgery center. They're going to put me under again. Not as much as we had for the original surgery, but there will be anesthesia involved. And for about 10 minutes or so, he will go in and just physically manipulate the knee. There's not going to be any additional incision. There's not going to be any kind of surgery or anything. He's just knocking me out for a little bit so that he can manipulate the knee, flex it, move it around, extend it, basically break up the scar tissue that has formed around part of the joint that is limiting my ability to flex. I had felt that there was a limit. My mind was telling me that it was the swelling that still remained in part of the knee, but I was beginning to get a little concerned because I've actually even asked my PT guy about it yesterday. When do I start having to be worried about the scar tissue? And apparently right now. So that's coming next week. That session today with him was about 8:30. We were there for about an hour, got that information, got all that scheduled. I'm going to be following up with some PT out of his office. Daily for the next week or so after that manipulation. Spent the whole day kind of trying to figure things out. A little bit of frustration, emotions of anger, disappointment that things aren't progressing like they might otherwise have. Not able to really pinpoint any reason why it happened. In speaking to the folks, sometimes there's some individual issues there. People develop scar tissues at different rates. People develop different types of scar tissue. It comes in thicker than in other situations. So I don't know if it's how my body develops scar tissue. I don't know if it's me not working the knee hard enough, which could be part of it. I don't want to necessarily admit that, but looking back, could I have been doing more? Absolutely, I could have been doing more, but I thought I was doing what I needed to do. And so bottom line is, whatever happened, I'm in this position and kind of still dealing through the various emotions associated with that news. But one of the things I've settled on is that I've got about 6 days or so to keep working on this knee. I'm going to be doing other things more often during the day. trying to limit the amount of quote unquote manipulation that he needs to do next week. That's kind of where I'm slated to be. I'm going as far as just general progression. I'm walking outside routinely. We got out this past weekend, went to one of the home decor stores and walked around for about an hour and that sort of thing. But when I went out walking today, I said, look, I told myself I'm just going to lock in and make this knee do what it needs to do. Maybe I may have been cheating on it a little bit, not letting it work as hard as it needed to. And I don't know if that's just me being afraid that it's going to give out or me being afraid of the pain. I don't know. Like I said, it's a little bit confusing to me, and the ability to kind of process through this, talking to you is helpful to me. So I do appreciate those of you who are watching and listening and following along. I'll be giving you some updates as we get a little bit closer to kind of let you know how things are going, getting set up. And then, of course, after we get into that session on Thursday and get the operation done, operation's not the right word, procedure's more the better word, I think, because they're, like I said, they're not cutting on me. They're just going to manipulate the knee. And I'll be asleep, so there's not going to be any pain or resistance or voluntary or involuntary for me. We'll get that done Thursday, probably Thursday morning. Have a therapy session literally that afternoon. Another therapy session on Friday, and then 5 days the next week with a follow-up 2 weeks from tomorrow. So that's where I am. And I'm going to keep pushing, not going to let this be a setback. It's just a change of direction. And optimism is not waning that much. Little frustration, little anger at myself and the situation, perhaps. It is what it is. And sometimes you have to press on and take care of things that come your way, whether you ask for them or not. And so this whole thing, I didn't ask for any of it. But I will say that, coming out of the doctors today was much more sobering than even the very initial visit that we had, where I walked out and thought, wow, I had no idea I had this problem with my knee, and now I got to have a knee replacement. So got a little more work to do, and we'll keep you posted as that comes along. Doing, like I said, a lot more walking around. I've basically thrown the cane away. I'm not going to use that at all, whether I'm carrying it around or just having it. It's done. And we're going to do with that. I'm going to take a shot at driving, seeing how I haven't done that yet. Been chauffeured around by Robin, so she's been gracious enough to take me to appointments and that kind of a thing. But we're going to see if I can get in on the driver's side now. Getting in the passenger side of the car has been pretty easy because you can lift that surgery leg in a little first, and then with the support of the non-surgical leg on the outside of the car while you get in. So getting in the car on the passenger side has been a little bit easier to navigate, and I've been doing that pretty well now for 3 or 4 weeks. Getting in on the driver's side might be a little more of a challenge. I just got to figure that out. Shouldn't be any problem driving because my right leg's fine. Don't have a standard car anymore. It's all automatic transmissions in the Harrington household. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate the support that you guys are continuing to give, and we'll be in touch later. Take care. Bye-bye.